Next came Shu Pan. Is it for me to speak now? Shu Pan asked. A maiden is sad, but a long time elapsed after these words were uttered, and yet nothing further was heard. Sad for what? Fang Zhu Ying laughingly asked. Go on and tell us at once. Shu Pan was much perplexed. His eyes rolled about like a bell. A girl is sad, he hastily repeated, but here again he coughed twice before he proceeded. A girl is sad, he said, when she marries a spouse who is a libertine. This sentence so tickled the fancy of the company that they burst out into a loud fit of laughter. What amuses you so? Shouted Shu Pan. Is it not likely that what I say is not correct? If a girl marries a man who chooses to forget all virtue, how can she not feel sore at heart? But so heartily did they all laugh that their bodies were bent into two. What you say is quite right, they eagerly replied, so proceed at once with the rest. Shu Pan thereupon stared with vacant gaze. A girl is grieved, he added, but after these few words he once more could find nothing to say. What is she grieved about? They asked. When a huge monkey finds its way into the inner room, Shu Pan retorted. This reply set everyone laughing. He must be molted, he must be molted. The first one could, anyhow, be overlooked, but this line is more unintelligible. As they said this, they were about to pour the wine when Bao Yu smilingly interfered. The rhyme is all right, he observed. The master of the rules approves it in every way, so what are you people fussing about? Hearing this, the company eventually let the matter drop. The two lines that follow are still more difficult, suggested Yun Tu with a smile, so you had better let me recite for you. Fiddlesticks, exclaimed Shu Pan. Do you really fancy that I have no good ones? You just listen to what I shall say. A girl is glad when in the bridal room she lies with flowery candles burning, and she is loath to rise at morn. This sentiment filled one and all with amazement. How supremely excellent this line is, they exclaimed. A girl is joyful, Shu Pan resumed, during the consummation of wedlock. Upon catching this remark, the party turned their heads away and shouted, Dreadful, dreadful, but quick sing your song and have done. Forthwith Shu Pan sang, A mosquito buzzes, hang, hang, hang. Everyone was taken by surprise. What kind of song is this? They inquired. But Shu Pan went on singing, Two flies buzz, wing, wing, wing. Enough, shouted his companions. That will do, that will do. Do you want to hear it or not? Shu Pan asked. This is a new kind of song called the Hang Hang Air. But if you people are not disposed to listen, let me off also from saying what I have to say over the heel taps, and I won't then sing. We'll let you off, answered all in one, so don't be hindering. A maiden is sad. Jiang Yu Han at once began. When her husband leaves home and never does return. A maiden is disconsolate when she has no money to go and buy some Olea Frangran's oil. A maiden is glad when the wick of the lantern forms two heads like twin flowers on one stem. A maiden is joyful when true conjugal peace prevails between her and her mate. His recital over, he went on to sing, How I love thee with those seductive charms of thine, heaven-born. In truth, you're like a living fairy from the azure skies. The spring of life we now enjoy. We are yet young in years. Our union is indeed a happy match. But lo, the Milky Way doth at its zenith soar. Heart to the drums which beat around in the watchtowers. So raise the silver lamp and let us soft under the nuptial curtain steal. Finishing the song, he drank the opening cup. I know, he smiled, few poetical quotations bearing on this sort of thing. By a stroke of good fortune, however, yesterday I conned a pair of antithetical scrolls. Of these I can only remember just one line, but lucky enough for me, the object it refers to figures as well on this festive board. This said, he forthwith drained the wine, and picking up a bud of a diminutive variety of Olea fragrans, he recited, "When the perfume of flowers wafts itself into a man, he knows the day is warm." The company unanimously conceded that the rule had been adhered to, but Shu Pan once again jumped up. "It's awful! It's awful!" He bowed boisterously. "He must be fined. He must be pay a forfeit. There's no precious article whatsoever on this table. How is it then that you introduce precious things?" "There was nothing about precious things," Jiang Yu Han vehemently explained. "What are you still prevaricating?" Shu Pan cried. "Well, repeat it again." Jiang Yu Han had no other course but to recite the line a second time. "Now is not Yi Jin a precious thing? If she isn't, what is she? And if you don't believe me, you ask him about it," pointing at the conclusion of this remark at Bao Yu. Bao Yu felt very uncomfortable. Rising to his feet, "Cousin, you should be fined," he observed. I should be," Shu Pan shouted, and saying this, he took up the wine and poured it down his throat with one gulp. Feng Zuying, Jiang Yu Han, and their companions thereupon asked him to explain the illusion. Yun readily told them, and Jiang Yu Han hastily got up and pleaded guilty. "Ignorance," the party said with one consent, "does not amount to guilt." But presently Bao Yu quitted the banquet to go and satisfy a natural want, and Jiang Yu Han followed him out. The two young fellows halted under the eaves of the veranda, and Jiang Yu Han then recommenced to make ample apologies. Bao Yu, however, was so attracted by his handsome and genial appearance that he took quite a violent fancy to him, and squeezing his hand in a firm grip, he urged, "If you have nothing to do let us go over to our place. I've got something more to ask you. It's this. There's in your worthy company someone called Chi Quan with a reputation extending throughout the world, but unfortunately, I alone have not had the good luck of seeing him even once." "This is really my infant name," Jiang Yu Han rejoined with a smile. This disclosure at once made Bao Yu quite exuberant, and stamping his feet, he smiled. "How lucky! I'm in luck's way. In truth, your reputation is no idle report. But today is our first meeting, and what shall I do?" After some thought, he produced a fan from his sleeve, and unloosening one of the jade pendants, he handed it to Chi Quan. "This is a mere trifle," he said. "It does not deserve your acceptance, yet it will be a small souvenir of our acquaintance today." Chi Quan received it with a smile. "I do not deserve such a present. How am I worthy of such an honor? But never mind. I've got about me here a strange thing which I put on this morning. It is brand new yet, and will hopefully suffice to prove to you a little of the feeling of esteem which I entertain for you." With these protestations, he raised his garment, and untying a deep red sash with which his nether clothes were fastened, he presented it to Bao Yu. "This sash is an article brought as tribute from the Queen of the Shi Kingdom. If you attach this round you in summer, your person will emit a fragrant perfume, and it will not perspire. It was given to me yesterday by the Prince of Pei Qing, and it is only today that I put it on. To anyone else, I would certainly not be willing to present it. But, Mr. Secundus, please unfasten the one you have on and give it to me to bind round me." This proposal extremely delighted Bao Yu. With precipitate haste, he accepted his gift, and undoing the dark brown sash he wore, he surrendered it to Chi Quan. But both had just had time to adjust their respective sashes when they heard a loud voice say, "Oh, I've caught you!" And they perceived Shu Pan come out by leaps and bounds, clutching the two young fellows. "What do you leave your wine for and withdraw from the banquet? Be quick and produce those things and let me see them." "There's nothing to see," rejoined the two young fellows with one voice. But Shu Pan would not by any means fall in with their views, and it was only Feng Zuying, who made his appearance on the scene, who succeeded in dissuading him. So resuming their seats, they drank until dark, when the company broke up. Bao Yu on his return into the garden loosened his clothes and had tea, but Yi Jin noticed that the pendant had disappeared from his fan, and she inquired of him what had happened to it. "I must have lost it this very moment," Bao Yu replied. But at bedtime, however, descrying a deep red sash with spots like specks of blood attached round his waist, Yi Jin guessed more or less the truth of what must have transpired. So Yi Jin consequently said, "As you have such a nice sash to fasten your trousers with, you'd better return that one of mine." This reminder made the fact dawn upon Bao Yu that the sash had been originally the property of Yi Jin, and that he should by rights not have parted with it. But however much he felt his conscience smitten by remorse, he felt to see how very well he could disclose the truth to her. He could therefore only put on a smiling face and add, "I'll give you another one instead."